In the new episode of Sports Nation, we will visit the most popular amateur race in Kazakhstan. We will talk to the world champion in Taekwondo, the author of the world-famous bottle cap challenge, Farabi Davletchin. At the end of the episode, we will plunge into the world of powerlifting with Ruslan Silin, champion of Asia. It's early morning. The weather is perfect for a run. We are at the celebration of sports. Almaty Semi-Marathon is one of the biggest sporting events in Kazakhstan. We are doing a review. Let's go! Sunday's start was the most popular sporting event in the country during the pandemic. About 3,000 people from different parts of Kazakhstan and even neighboring countries participated in it. It's my meaning. I've been in sports all my life. I don't feel discomfort getting up at 5 a.m. and living in sports. The good thing is that we have a badge. It allows us to enter the start area and show you everything from the inside. Most of the participants behind me are, of course, amateurs who run to stay healthy. The distances are 10 and 21 kilometers. There is a lower age limit for participation, 15 years old, but there is no upper age limit. We are as enthusiastic today as the runners themselves. We haven't had any mass competitions for 1.5 years, and this year, starting from February, we started holding small races to show the local authorities that we can adapt the rules so that people can do sports outdoors. In 2019, a full marathon in Almaty brought together 17,000 participants from Kazakhstan. It was a record. Never before has running been so popular in the country. The distance of 42 kilometers was not conquered by everyone. It has become popular. It is available. A lot of people are engaged. Whoever you ask does running. If you go outside, everyone runs. The pools are full. There are representatives of Nordic walking, beginners, and experienced marathon runners on the distance. This time we were especially lucky with the weather. No heat and burning sun, and the feeling that it's going to rain only gave us strength. Some of the participants are in wheelchairs, some on handbikes. We are very happy that all people are involved in this celebration. Along the route, the organizers put food and water points. Everyone could ask for medical help. Now at kilometer 21, people have started to ask for medical help. So far, only one man has had an allergy attack. For the sake of such races, the city authorities close the main street several times a year. Of course, there are dissatisfied citizens, but you have to understand that it's a weekend morning. Secondly, Almaty is the leader in Kazakhstan in the number of people involved in a healthy lifestyle. According to statistics, every third Almaty citizen is somehow involved in physical culture and sports. The most popular activity is, of course, running. Kazakhstanis compete with each other in special applications, get involved in sports communities. Science confirms that regular running influences our physiology, thinking, and self-esteem. That is, the benefits of running are not only in slender legs, medals from races, and beautiful selfies. My daughter was the first to start running, and we always went out on a by avenue. She ran 21 kilometers. We always met her, and I was so envious. That's where it started. I started running in 2019. Altengul is not the only one in the semi-marathon who started running at a considerable age. Two friends, Tleuran Kanapyanov and Senbek Toribekule, are full of energy even at the finish line. We get a lot of drive and a lot of pleasure. It prolongs life. I advise everyone to run. I'm 66, he is 62. If you want to be attractive, just run. It's never too late for sports. You can start at 50 or 60. I started at 57. Friends, we are at the finish line, and many of the participants are eager to cross it as soon as possible. But at the end of the race, absolutely everyone gets a finisher's medal. It's probably an addiction of its own in terms of emotions, adrenaline, good mood, and health. It seems to me that this is the most relevant today. Regular running changes the way of life, motivates you to eat right and stick to the schedule. And such mass races are great motivation and an opportunity to plunge into the atmosphere of sports celebration. Next in the episode, there is a big interview with Farabi Davletchin about music lessons, MMA offers, and the famous challenge. Not so long time ago, a viral challenge took over the internet, where amateurs and professional athletes were kicking caps off bottles. But few people know that the author of the bottle cap challenge was a guy from Kazakhstan. Farabi Davletchin, known as Farakicks, World Taekwondo champion, holder of the black belt in aikido, is the star of our episode. Farabi Davletchin is 33 years old. He was born and grew in Almaty. At the age of 26, he became the world champion in Taekwondo. In 2018, he gained international fame thanks to the bottle cap challenge. He says that his idol is Bruce Lee. As far as I know, your full name is Al-Farabi. Yes. Is there any backstory? My mother wanted to name me Al-Farabi. She named me after the scientist. Maybe she wanted you to be a scientist too. She thought about me becoming a scientist. She liked Al-Farabi's work very much. She told me that she had read a lot about him when she was young. And that's why she was impressed. However, you successfully studied and practiced guitar. Yes, I did it for myself. I started playing the guitar at music school. I took guitar class. Then I joined the guitar class in college. And even at one point, I thought that I would link my life with guitar. But then, sports outweighed. At what point did sport beat all the rest? That was when I was in college. I was working out all the time. And I had to choose constant competitions, outings, or to make music. Music requires the same attitude as sports. Not so many people can understand this music. It requires a lot of work, and that work is often not justified. You have two choices. You either play in an orchestra, or you can retrain and go into electro and play in a band, but that's another story. It's a different instrument. Yes, it's a different instrument. It's similar but very different. All the people who studied with me either retrained on a different instrument to earn more money, or they are involved in teaching.
Стали как преподавательской деятельностью тоже заниматься, преподавать чисто классическую гитару.
You must be the only one among musicians who have been successful in this sport. Yeah, I guess so. I'm also the only one among my friends. When did your first success come to you?
Вот именно такой вкус победы я почувствовал в детстве, там, не знаю, в 10-12 лет, когда я выиграл чемпионат Казахстана. Вот тогда вот я прям...
I felt the taste of victory when I was 10 or 12 years old. I won the championship of Kazakhstan. Then I was very impressed and I wanted to continue. It's when you win competitions, the coach praises you, you get all the impressions. I am grateful to my first coach, who instilled in me the right attitude to martial arts. I remember very well the moments when we were preparing before the competition and afterward when I won. The attitude of the coach changed. He told me to come to the morning training for free. He told me to train. And he said that I didn't have to pay for it. He saw the potential and had a different attitude. And that is very important.
Занимайся в зале, платить ничего не надо. То есть он уже увидел, когда в тебе есть какой-то потенциал, и уже стал по-другому относиться. И это очень важно.
You became the world champion. Did you feel calmer after that?
Не то что успокоение, было такое
Not that kind of calmness. There was a lull, and I felt I had achieved what I wanted very much. For a long time, I was striving to get the World Championship, just to participate in the World Championship. The first time I failed to do it, I was disappointed. I even was thinking that I didn't want to do it anymore, and that was it. A lot depends on the coach, a lot depends on external factors, on the family. You need to be supported. It only depends on you when you go out on the tatami, and until then, there are a lot of things. Would you say that with the bottle cap challenge, your life is divided into before and after? Yeah, as they say today, I hyped. It was a very special moment. After the bottle cap challenge, I got a lot of attention, a lot of subscribers on social networks. People from different countries began to write to me. Everything changed. How did this bottle cap challenge appear? My friend Fima Ivanov sent us a familiar video with guys kicking the cap off. I and another friend of mine, Karel Pashikyan, posted it, and I did it as a challenge. I posted it, tagged everyone, including Jason Statham. I woke up the next morning and everyone was texting me. My relatives started calling. They wondered if I saw that Jason Statham repeated your challenge.
Джейсон Стэтхэм сделал твой челлендж.
I just woke up, I checked Instagram, I saw a lot of followers adding. He tagged me, and that's when I got shocked. Have you had many attempts before to run challenges that go viral? There were a lot of different attempts. I had an idea to grab a cap with a hand, but nothing was as successful as the bottle cap challenge. Farabi has started dozens of challenges all the time. There have been some that only a few people can repeat. And we're going to repeat one of the challenges. Quite a simple task at first sight. We need to catch these 3 coins on the fly. So, what should we do? We take 3 coins, we put them in our hands. The distance apart should be equal. You flip them up and try to grab them with one hand. As far as I understand, you're developing a reaction. Yes, I am. It's very important for boxers. It's usually harder to do a challenge than to make it up. That's why it took both of us more than 10 attempts. Who knows, maybe you'll get it right the first time. Very good. Friends, this is how challenges appear. 3 coins on a fly. Try again. Very good. 3 coins. Finally. How many subscribers did you have before the bottle cap? About 10,000. Now you have 230,000, if I'm not mistaken. According to statistics, I have more people from the United States. Kazakhstan, Russia go next. When you shoot content for your account, do you take into account that you have an English-speaking audience? There are a lot of Americans, and mostly only Americans write all the time. There are students from New York and San Francisco. You started a family 5 years ago. Your spouse has nothing to do with sports. She's a ballet dancer. She did ballet professionally. She studied in St. Petersburg. From the age of 10, she was in the Vaganova Academy. She worked at the Mariinsky Theater. She seriously was engaged in the ballet.
Ну, то есть серьезно, как бы занималась балетом.
How do you two meet?
Ее родители живут здесь, мама живет здесь, и, получается, она приехала.
Her mother lives here. She came to Almaty and she knew a good friend of mine. He introduced us.
Вот, он нас познакомил.
And then it was
И потом уже.
love at first sight? Yeah.
Это была такая история просто интересная.
It was an interesting story. I'm always stretching, doing the
Я
splits.
постоянно тянусь, шпагат там делаю. и он
Once my
говорит,
friend said
«Знаешь,
that my
вот
split
прям
was not good
я
enough.
говорит, я сейчас покажу человека, говорит, тут
I'll show you someone who does a very high amplitude split.
она
She's a
делает
ballet
шпагат,
dancer.
а у нее шпагат вообще вот так она.
And he shows me her doing a split. I was shocked. I have never seen such a thing in my life. I asked her to give me a couple of ballet lessons. That's how we met. We started texting and got to know each other.
Познакомились, потом уже мы с ней переписывались и так заобщались.
You also have the black belt in aikido. Yes. It's a sport practiced by Steven Seagal, if I'm not mistaken. And why did you decide to do aikido?
С айкидо вообще отдельная история. Просто
Aikido is a different story. When I first saw it, I fell in love with the sport. These movements are so much like water. I started practicing Aikido at the same time. It's a different school. Aikido is from Japan. Taekwondo is from Korea. Taekwondo is a sport with striking technique.
Taekwondo это Корея. Taekwondo он же более.
Aikido is all about flexing, submission holds, philosophy. The weapon is very involved.
Получается на болевые приемы, потом работа философии.
For example, Japanese Joe javelin. We do a lot of things that the samurai did.
Букен, там очень много таких моментов, которые делали самураи.
Friends, we're going to have challenge number 2. It's more dangerous. Don't try this at home. What's the point? You put a glove on your hand and you have to kick it off. Your main objective is not to move. You got it, alright. What if I try to do it? No, let me hold it in my hand and you have to hit it without hitting your hand. Go ahead. Of course you need training for this kind of challenge, so it's better to start from a low height. I got it. You got it. You did it. We're a team. How do Taekwondists train? Is it possible to start training when you're 30? Of course it's possible. Of course it's possible, but for yourself. It's not a professional sport. It gives you good stretching. What else does it give you? Stretching, functional training, constant muscle tone, leg kicks, self-defense. But still, what is the correct name for your federation? Joly Taekwondo. What is the difference between your school and classical Taekwondo? The difference is that the terminology is completely in English and our teacher, Joly, is Korean, who was born and raised in America. He trained Bruce Lee, and so this is his school, better known in America, in Kazakhstan, and the world. Taekwondo is an Olympic sport after all. Didn't you have a desire to be selected for the Olympic Games?
Желание было, видите, у нас другая федерация, другой стиль, потому что олимпийский вид это ВТФ, там.
I had a desire, but we have a different federation. We have another style. The Olympic sport is WTF. They have different rules, different sparring. I had a desire to go to WTF, but I had no connections, no coach to go there. When I was at the peak, I was invited to Astana. I came, met with the deputy minister after the World Championships. I wanted to be on the national team. But there you had to move to Astana to live in a dormitory. And I was 25 years old. I had a job, a family, a home.
Переехать в Астану и тренироваться в сборной, жить в общежитии. А мне тогда уже было 25 лет, у меня как бы уже дома, здесь семья, там работа, да.
Tell me about the most unusual offers you received, not counting the bottle cap challenge.
Было предложение участвовать вот в ММА в российском, но
There was an offer to participate in Russian MMA. I thought it over and realized that it wasn't worth it,
ну там потому что нужно
because I had to rebuild myself there again and learn wrestling techniques.
джиу-джитсу изучать, борцовую технику изучать.
It takes a long time, plus I have to recover. Even after Taekwondo competitions, you can be injured and it takes 6 months, a year to recover.
Бывают травмы, которые
It's a different sport in MMA. If I had that offer when I was 20 years old, maybe I would have taken it.
Это предложение в 20 лет, я, может быть, и согласился бы.
Farabi, thank you very much for the interview. It was very interesting. Thank you. Good luck to you.
Удачи, спасибо.
Next in the episode, we will tell you what powerlifting is. Ruslan Silin, champion of Asia, will help us. Since ancient times, people have competed to see who is the strongest. In ancient Greece, athletes pushed stone boulders. Modern strongmen have simplified things. In the mid-20th century, in the USA, a subtype of weightlifting, powerlifting, appeared.
Вообще мы в зале изначально занимались
Originally, we did weightlift in the gym. Weightlifting is also 2 exercises, but different. Jerk, push. Powerlifting involves strength sport, exactly basic exercises, bench press, deadlift, and barbell squats.
тяга называется и приседания со штангой.
In Kazakhstan, it is one of the most popular and available sports. Almost all powerlifters are amateurs who have regular jobs but regularly go to the gym, and sometimes they take part in competitions as well.
На один раз ты должен сделать максимум. То есть
For one time, you have to do the maximum. If you take bodybuilding, they do on repetitions. They're pumping muscles. For us, the muscles are not the main thing. The main thing is to be strong.
А у нас мышцы не важные, главное, чтобы ты был сильный.
All 3 exercises of powerlifting, bench press, deadlift, and barbell squats are recommended for beginners to gain overall muscle mass. That is, without these exercises, it is impossible to progress. And it all starts with the correct technique.
Есть два вида техники для
You can lift this barbell in 2 different ways. There is a technique called sumo.
Такая техника
It's a wide leg position.
сумо, это когда
You go down and your back is straight.
широкая постановка ног,
You breathe in and then you lift the barbell and you breathe out.
при поднятии ты делаешь передох. Классический подъем, становая
To do a classic deadlift, put your feet at the width of the pelvis and do the same lift, only with a narrow placement of the legs. The deadlift is one of the most traumatic exercises, therefore it is better to begin with the supervision of an experienced coach. It is much easier for beginners to master the barbell squat.
Ноги шире тазовых костей.
The legs should be wider than the pelvis. The toes are rotated outward.
Мы начинаем
We start squatting with our back fixed by a belt, for example. We go under the bar and squat with the pelvis pulled back. I'll show you from the side. We move the pelvis away and sit below the knee.
убираем, и мы садимся ниже колена.
And finally, we will do the bench press. It's one of the most favorite exercises for athletes.
Ложимся, пятки.
You should lie down. Heels should be on the floor. The pelvis should be pressed against the floor.
По хвату.
The shoulder blades should be pressed against the floor. There are different types of grips: narrow, medium, wide grip. Breathe in and put the barbell down. Breathe out and lift it. Traditionally, powerlifters are considered to be large, but this is a myth. Strength does not always depend on the volume of muscles. Ruslan Silin proves that.
Есть народный жим, где на
There is a multi-repeat bench press when you lift your own body weight. I am the record holder of Kazakhstan in arm lifting multi-repeat bench press. I pressed 75 kilograms at the time. I lifted a barbell of my weight 54 times.
4 или 52 раза.
Many believe that only men can do powerlifting, but there are no gender and age restrictions. Moreover, doctors advise everyone to squat at least sometimes. On that note, we say goodbye to you. Subscribe to the Kazakh TV YouTube channel and follow us online.